أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل فأسرها يوسف في نفسه ولم يبدها لهم قال أنتم شر مكانا والله أعلم بما تصفون الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي آمين يا رب العالمين. We begin by praising Allah who has allowed us to gather in His house surrounding His words, His blessed words. We could have been at any other place right now with friends and family enjoying or watching Netflix. But Allah chose us to sit in His house with the angels, inshallah, in front of His words. May Allah allow us to say and to listen to what benefits us. In this part of the story, in Surah Yusuf, can anyone say, where were we? What was the last scene?
Yusuf got the people, the daughters of Egypt, to take Benjamin so they could be together when he's big midgets.
Yes. Yusuf alayhi salam took hold of Benjamin to keep him with him in Egypt. Yusuf alayhi salam made a plot. Allah helped him make that plot. He put the king's cup in the bag of Benjamin, and then because of that plot he could keep Benjamin with him. So when these brothers, they were approached by the guards of Yusuf alayhi salam, "Oh, you travelers, you are thieves." They proclaimed that we are not thieves, we came here before. Why should we be stealing from you? We came here before for the goods we take from here, and you know us, and we're going to have to come again. Why would we steal from you? We are not thieves, they proclaimed very confidently. So when one of them was caught red-handed with the cup of the king, they got very embarrassed. They didn't know how to react to it. Just now they were proudly proclaiming that we are not thieves, you know our lineage, you know us. We are good guys. We are good people. We are not like that. So when one of them was found red-handed like that, caught red-handed, in a knee-jerk reaction they said, قالوا إن يسرق فقد سرق أخ له من قبل. Okay, you found him to be a thief. If he stole something, that is because his brother was also a thief. His brother who got lost long ago, or who died long ago, he was also a thief. Why did they do this? Why did they say such a thing? They wanted to avert the blame from their lineage, from themselves. They wanted to say that yes, what we proclaim that we are good people, we don't steal. That's true. We are not the bad people. We don't do this. And you found someone from us? Well, yes, because he is not really our full brother. He and his brother, who are our half brothers, are from a different mother, and they have these issues. They are not like us, and we are not like them. We are good people. We are honest and good. But him, Benjamin, the youngest one, he has some issues. His brother also had some issues. His brother Yusuf, who was lost long back, or killed by a wolf, he also had issues. Imagine Yusuf a.s. listening to this slander right on his face, right at his face. What does Yusuf alayhi salam do? فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ وَلَمْ يُبْدِهَا لَهُمْ. Yusuf alayhi salam suppressed what he was feeling inside. He did not say anything to them. And he said to himself that, قَالَ أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. You are in a worse position. How low can you stoop? How low you have stooped. وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا تَصِفُونَ. Allah knows best what you are saying. What you describe, Allah knows best. What is the truth? He did not say it. He kept it within himself. So now when they come back to their senses that these sort of knee-jerk reaction tactics, this is not going to work with the minister, not going to work with the Aziz. We are in a big problem now. We need to get our brother back home. We have given a binding pledge to our father. Now we are good, he is bad. These talks are not going to work now. These tactics are not going to work. So now they come back to their senses and they say, يَقَالُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزِ. O minister, إِنَّ لَهُ أَبًا شَيْخًا كَبِيرًا. He has a father who's really old. He has a really old father. فَخُذْ أَحَدَنَا مَكَانَهُ. If you have to take someone as a slave, just take one of us instead of him. Because they know what they did with his brother Yusuf alayhi salam. So they can't be doing the same thing, they can't be saying the same thing that they lost Yusuf's brother again to their father. They can't be saying that. That's why they said, okay, you want to keep someone as a slave because of the punishment of the stealing, take anyone among us instead of him. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you among the good doers. Muhsinin. Does anyone recall when this statement was made in this surah before? Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you among the good doers. Someone spoke to Yusuf alayhi salam and said that we see you among the good doers. Let's take Yaqub.
Was it the business when you got in the prison?
Yes?
In the prison.
In the prison, right. In the prison, when Yusuf alayhi salam is in the darkness of the dungeon, his character was emanating such generosity and excellence that even in the prison, his inmates referred to him, spoke to him and said that Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. We see you as a muhsin, as a good doer. So can you please interpret this dream for us? So Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was a child, he was different. He was not like his brothers. When he was in the minister's house as a servant, and even before as a servant, when he was being sold, the minister saw something in his looks that made him distinct. He was not like anyone else. Not only did he have that elegance in his beauty, but there was an elegance and beauty in his character too. That was clear when he was a young child. That was clear when he was in the minister's house, being raised not just like a servant, like his son. And it was also evident when he was in the dungeons. And now, when he is in the throne, he is acting the same way. His situations did not dictate his attitude. His situation, no matter how dark it gets, or how good life is going, it did not change his character. Some of us, we are good and generous and kind to others when life is good, when everything is good. But Yusuf alayhi salam, he was constantly good. Inna naraka min al-muhsinin. So how does Yusuf alayhi salam respond? They are saying that please keep one of us instead. Don't take our youngest brother Binyamin. We are 10 brothers. If you want to keep someone else from us. He says, Yusuf alayhi salam responds, قَالَ مَعَاذَ اللَّهِ أَن نَتَّخِذَ إِلَّا مَنْ وَجَدْنَا مَتَاعَنَا عِنْدَهِ. I seek refuge in Allah from taking anyone else except for the one in whose bag we found our mata', our thing, our stuff. We will only take him as a slave. That's the rule. Whoever is found to be guilty of theft becomes a slave of the person who owns the stolen property. So he says that I cannot take someone else except for the thief. Does he say for the thief? Does Yusuf alayhi salam say that we cannot take anyone as a slave except for the thief? Or does Yusuf alayhi salam say that we cannot take anyone as a slave except for the one in whose bag we found the stuff? Do you notice the difference? If Yusuf alayhi salam had said that we cannot take anyone as a slave except for the thief, he would be lying blatantly. It would be a clear lie, right? His brother didn't steal. The goblet, the king's cup was found in his bag. So even though he was making a plot to keep his brother, he did not utter a lie. He was very strategic, very eloquent in his speech so that he does not fall into speaking a lie. He made a plot, but he made it in a very clever way. If we do that, if we take someone else, we are going to be among the zalimin, among the wrongdoers. Now notice something. When these discussions are going on, these arguments are going on, do you see Binyamin speaking? Binyamin is the one who is accused of theft. Does he speak? Does he try to defend himself? He doesn't try to defend himself. Why not? He's being accused of theft. Why is he not defending himself? Guess?
Does he recognize his brother?
He recognizes his brother's plan. So he does not respond. And this is even more confusing to the brothers. So they think that, okay, this is like an affirmation. He must have done something. Why doesn't he speak? Why is he acting like that? Why is he acting weird? فَلَمَّا اسْتَيْأَسُوا مِنْهُ. When the brothers, they lost all hope from Yusuf alayhi salam, from the minister. خَلَصُوا نَجِيًّا. They gathered in their secret meeting. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ. What does kabir mean? What does kabir mean? Kabir. The elder one. Big. The elder one. قَالَ كَبِيرُهُمْ. The elder one said, أَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ أَبَاكُمْ قَدْ أَخَذَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَوْثِقًا مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Don't you know that your father has taken a binding pledge from you by Allah? وَمِن قَبْلُ مَا فَرَّطْتُمْ فِي يُوسُفَ. And earlier, what you have done with Yusuf, how you have dealt with Yusuf, فَلَنْ أَبْرَحَ الْأَرْضِ. I am not going to leave the land حَتَّى يَأْذَنَ لِي أَبِي. Till my father permits me, أَوْ يَحْكُمَ اللَّهُ لِي. Or Allah makes a decision for me. وَهُوَ خَيْرُ الْحَاكِمِينَ. He's the best of judges. He's the best of judges. I am not going to leave. I'm going to stay behind. I cannot face our father. We have given a binding pledge. We should live. We should hold on to it. I cannot face him. Okay. So, this brother, do you think he was involved in the abduction of Yusuf and what they did to Yusuf? Was he not involved? He was involved. He was involved in throwing Yusuf in the well too. But when the brothers were planning to put Yusuf alayhi salam in the well and throw him in the well, do you see the Quran highlighting anyone, that the elder one said, and the middle one said this, and the younger one said that. Do you see that? If you recall, does Quran highlight any of the brothers when there was a discussion going on about the evil plot against Yusuf alayhi salam, when he was a kid, when he was a child? The Quran does not highlight any name, nor does Quran highlight any kind of attribute that highlights any identity. Because that was a negative plot, that was something negative. But when one of the brothers is standing out and he is suggesting something good, he is suggesting something right, Allah highlights him. Allah introduces him as the elder one. Why is that? It is because when it's something negative, it's better to not take any names, to not highlight any identity. If you have to mention something negative, if there's a lesson you want to share, and there's something negative related to someone's identity, don't expose them if you don't have to. But when it's something good, you should highlight them. But when it's something bad, hide people's identity as much as possible. Irji'u ila abikum, the elder one says, return to your father. فَقُولُوا, and tell him, Ya abana inna ibnaka saraq. Your son has stolen. Your son has committed theft. وَمَا شَهِدْنَا إِلَّا بِمَا عَلِمْنَا, and we are not testifying to anything except what we have known. We have seen that in front of us. He was silent and we saw what happened. We are just saying what happened. Trust us, we are not lying. وَمَا شَهِدْنَا إِلَّا بِمَا عَلِمْنَا وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ حَافِظِينَ. And we couldn't protect what is in the ghaib, what is in the unseen. We don't know anything apart from what we have seen. And what happened in the unseen, we don't know if he stole or not. And we gave you a pledge when we couldn't know what's going to happen. It's in the ghaib, we couldn't know that. We are only testifying to what we have seen. So when they said that his son stole, when they are going to say that your son stole, even they couldn't believe it. That this kind of thing could happen from Binyamin. They know Binyamin. So they added this sentence. وَمَا كُنَّا لِلْغَيْبِ حَافِظِينَ. We don't know what happened in the unseen, but we are just saying what we saw. He stole or not, we don't know. To keep that provision for him. And also to keep that provision that when we pledged that we are going to protect him, we did not know the ghaib, what's going to happen. That's why we pledged by the name of Allah. Both of these explanations were given by the scholars. So the elder one stays back and he sends the other brothers, the rest of them. And they say this to their father. What does the father reply? What does Yaqub alayhi salam say? Oh, they also say, وَاسْأَلِ الْقَرْيَةَ الَّتِي كُنَّا فِيهَا. If you don't believe us, ask the people of the city. Even they know. It happened in front of them. وَالْعِيرَ الَّتِي أَقْبَلْنَا فِيهَا. And the travelers who were with us, ask them, all of them were present. وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. We are truthful, we are not lying. Why are they saying this over and over again? We are not lying, you can ask them, you can ask him. Why are they saying this? Because they did the same thing with Yusuf alayhi salam. When they took Yusuf alayhi salam, they said, we are definitely going to protect Yusuf alayhi salam, nothing's going to happen to him. And now, when they take Yusuf alayhi salam's brother, they are left with no explanation. That's why they are saying that if you don't believe us and you might have all the reasons to not believe us, please ask him, ask them. They all saw it. And we couldn't help. What does Yaqub alayhi salam say? قَالَ بَلْ سَوَّلَتْ لَكُمْ أَنفُسُكُمْ أَمْرًا. Yaqub alayhi salam says, but rather, it is your lower selves, it is your nafs who made you do something. Yaqub alayhi salam does not believe them. He has all the reasons not to believe them, because they did something very similar regarding Yusuf alayhi salam. So Yaqub alayhi salam did not believe them. Was Yaqub alayhi salam right in his assumption? What do you think? Was Yaqub alayhi salam correct in his assumption? Yaqub alayhi salam thought that they were lying, right? But Yaqub alayhi salam, it was not a. He made an error in his assumption. It was not correct what he was assuming, but his assumption was justified. So, Tahir ibn Ashur says that even the Anbiya can make errors in their judgments in matters that are not related to deen. Like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was when the Sahabas asked him about the breeding of the palm date trees. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave them a suggestion, but he also said later on that these are matters of your worldly matters. You know these better than me. So, the prophets did not know the ghaib. This is one thing to be extracted. Secondly, the prophets can make humanly errors in matters relating to, in worldly matters. So, Yaqub alayhi salam made an error in his assumption, even though it was not something wrong, because it was justified. Their history dictates these kind of assumptions. So what does he say? He says, فَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ. He reacts the same way he reacted to the loss of Yusuf alayhi salam. He says, I am left with nothing but beautiful patience. I am going to be patient in the most beautiful of manners. عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. Perhaps Allah will bring all of them back to me. All of them back to me. Bihim. Him is a plural word. Plural means more than two. So what is he referring to? How many people is he referring to? What do you think? How many people he is referring to? He's saying that if Allah wills, perhaps Allah will bring all of them back to me. Who are these all of them? Is it Binyamin? It is Binyamin. And who else? Yusuf alayhi salam. It is Binyamin, Yusuf alayhi salam, and the elder one who stayed behind. He is remembering Yusuf alayhi salam till now. He says, perhaps Allah will bring all of them back to me. Allah can bring all of them back to me. Innahu huwa al-alimul hakim. He is Alim. He is Al-Alim. He is the all-knower. He is the one who knows everything. And He is the one who is all-wise. He does not do anything except out of His wisdom. He does not do anything unnecessarily. He knows everything and He does everything according to His knowledge and wisdom. Alim Hakim. Do you recall when this name was mentioned earlier? When was this name mentioned earlier? Anyone? Yes.
At the beginning,
Let your friend say it. Okay.
when Yusuf told his father about the dream, then Yaqub said to him that indeed your Lord is Alim Hakim.
Yes. When Yusuf alayhi salam in his childhood narrated the dream of stars and the moon and the sky, and the sun to his father told him that Allah is going to select you. Allah is going to select you for a high status, like He selected me and your grandfather and your great-grandfather. You are going to be selected for prophethood. So, bear in mind that Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. Yaqub alayhi salam teaches Yusuf alayhi salam these two names so that Yusuf alayhi salam can hold on to these names in times of trials and tribulations that are going to come to him on his way to the prophethood. Because anyone Allah raises to a high status, trials and tribulations come their way. And in those times, they need to know that Allah is all-wise, Allah is all-knowing. These are the names of Allah that we need to hold on to when we can't find, we don't see why are things going wrong. We don't have any clue. We feel clueless. Why are things going wrong in our lives? These are the two names of Allah that we need to hold on to. These are the names of Allah. And Yaqub alayhi salam is holding on to these names when he can't find answers. When he can't find answers, where is Yusuf? When is he going to come back? Where is Binyamin? What is going to happen to him? He holds on to these names. He remembers, I don't know what's happening, but who knows? Allah knows. I don't know why this is happening, but I know that Allah is Hakim, Allah is wise. He does not do anything unjustly, unnecessarily. وَتَوَلَّى عَنْهُمْ, and He turns away from them. He turns away from them. وَقَالَ يَا أَسَفَا عَلَى يُوسُف. He says, oh my sorrows over Yusuf. Wait a second. Has anyone said anything about Yusuf yet? No one mentioned Yusuf in this, right now, in this incident. No one mentioned that Yusuf is even alive. His brothers said, what did his brothers say when Yusuf was lost? That Yusuf alayhi salam was eaten by the wolf. But here he says that عَسَى اللَّهُ أَنْ يَأْتِيَنِي بِهِمْ جَمِيعًا. If Allah wants, Allah can bring all of them back to me. He is saying this to his sons, to his children. He is saying this. So he's indicating that I don't believe that Yusuf is dead. Yusuf will come back. Allah will bring him back when He wants. Now, he moves away from them and he is on his own. He is crying. He is on his own. He is crying and he says, oh my sorrows over Yusuf. وَابْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ. And his eyes turn white from the sorrows. His eyes turn white from the crying and crying. Mufassirun have said that turned white means that he went blind. He went blind from crying and crying over sorrows. فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. From the sorrows that he was suppressing. He was suppressing all these sorrows within himself. So you see, what I take away from this is, he is doing sabrun jamil, right? He is maintaining a beautiful patience. But we see him crying. And not just crying a little every now and then. He is crying so much that he has gone blind. Does he not know that Yusuf alayhi salam is alive and Yusuf alayhi salam is going to come back? What do you think? Does he not know? He knows. Yaqub alayhi salam knows that Yusuf is alive somewhere. And he is going to be back. How does he know that? He knows it from the knowledge Allah gave him. And he also knows it from the dream that Yusuf alayhi salam narrated as a child. That there is the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowing down to him. Yaqub alayhi salam knows the interpretation of that dream. Yaqub alayhi salam knows that he is alive somewhere. Two things I take away from this, two or more. Being patient does not mean that you cannot cry. You can be patient, but you can cry to Allah. You can break down into tears in front of Allah. You can cry all you want. You can share all your sorrows with Allah, that, oh Allah, you see where I am. You see how much pain I'm going through. You can say all that to Allah, as long as you are not complaining to people. I saw a couple, an elderly couple from Bangladesh. They lost their son, 27-year-old son. So the lady, she was saying, I asked them about their son. She was saying that, how could Allah do this to me? And we are very angry with Allah. We are very upset with Allah. I was suggesting him that she should go to Umrah and she will feel lighter. So she said that we haven't gone to Umrah or Hajj because we are angry with Allah. Ma'adallah, may Allah save us from these. So, someone can face the biggest of tragedies. They can cry. And they can also be patient at the same time, as long as they are not complaining about it to people. Complaining about it even to themselves, that why is Allah doing this to me? They are angry with Allah within themselves. So Yaqub alayhi salam is crying, but he does not cry to anyone else, but only to Allah. And when you cry to Allah, and when you are presenting your suffering and sorrows to Allah, it is a form of dua. Because when you say to Allah that, oh Allah, I am in so much pain, what are you saying to Allah? Oh Allah, relieve my pain, relieve my pain. Ayub alayhi salam says, Rabbi inni massani ad-dur. Oh Allah, I am in so much suffering. Suffering has touched me. This is a dua. When you cry to Allah, it's a dua. So when you cry to Allah, it's an ibadah. Yaqub alayhi salam cried and cried to Allah till he's lost his eyesight. He lost his eyesight in ibadah. He was patient, he was crying to Allah, and he lost his eyesight. He was in ibadah. فَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. He was suppressing it all to himself. There's a hadith mentioned in Tuhfatul Ahwazi that Salullah min fadli, ask Allah from His bounty. فَإِنَّهُ يُحِبُّ أَن يُسْأَلْ, because Allah loves to be asked. إِنَّ أَفْضَلَ الْعِبَادَةِ انتظار الفرج من الله انتظار فرج الله. The best of, the greatest of ibadat, worships, is to wait for the relief from Allah. When you wait for the relief from Allah, you are in a ibadah constantly. In every breath you take, you are in ibadah. Every tear you shed, you are in ibadah. Every time you go to sleep, even go to sleep crying, you are in ibadah. Because you are waiting for Allah to send something good on your way. You are waiting for Allah to send relief. You are having good assumptions of Allah. You are in constant ibadah. Be it for 1 year, be it for 2 years, be it for 3 years. You are waiting for marriage, you are waiting for children, you are waiting for a good job, you are waiting for your family conflicts to be resolved, you are crying. All these years and months, all these are counted as ibadah, as long as you are having that good assumption of Allah, that Allah will make a way out. You are in constant ibadah. You are having sabr. There is a reward for salah. There is a reward for £100 donation. But there is no specific reward for patience.
إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أُجُورَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. The patient ones will be given their rewards without any calculation. Your rewards in donating in Ramadan will be multiplied by 70. But your patience, it will be multiplied by infinity. That's why Allah says, Siyam is for me and I will reward it. All ibadah is for Allah. All ibadah is for Allah. Salah is for Allah. Zakah is for Allah. Siyam is not exclusive. But Siyam has that element of sabr. If abstaining from the haram acts and from the food and drink is a sabr that Allah will reward infinitely with, then imagine the pain that is causing you to cry day and night and you are being patient. Will Allah really overlook that? Allah knows every drop of tears you shed. Allah knows Allah has the count of seconds for the time you waited for Allah's relief. He is saying all these, he is crying to Allah as he turned away from his children. But his sons, they hear him saying these. So when they hear the name of Yusuf, as his father is crying in his own corner, they say that, Dad, Tallahi, by Allah. Tallahi is an expression used, it's a form of taking oath, it's a swear, by Allah, but when ta is used, it's used for ta'ajjub, like something strange, for something strange. So they are saying that by Allah, تفتأ تذكر يوسف حتى تكون حرضا أو تكون من الهالكين. You are going to continue remembering Yusuf until you are fatally ill or you are perished. Are you really going to do that? You are going to die this way. You are going to be ill if you continue this way. If you continue, remembering Yusuf this way. Yusuf is not here. Yusuf is gone. You're trying to say that. They were saying this because they were fearing about their father's health. So what does Yaqub alayhi salam respond? Yaqub alayhi salam says, إِنَّمَا قَالَ إِنَّمَا أَشْكُو بَثِّي وَحُزْنِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. I only complain of my sorrows, my anguish, my grief to Allah. وَأَعْلَمُ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And I know from Allah what you don't know. I know what I am crying about. I know relief is going to come. I know Yusuf is somewhere. You don't know. I know something from Allah that you don't know. So he says now, Ya baniya, izhabu, fatahassasu min Yusuf. Oh my children, go and look for Yusuf, wa akhihi, and his brother. Does he say look for Binyamin and Yusuf? Or does he say look for Yusuf and Binyamin and his brother? He starts with Yusuf's name. Because he knows that Yusuf is not dead. And now he declares openly to his children that Yusuf is not dead. Whatever you said, I don't believe that. And I know something that you don't know. Yusuf is out there somewhere. Look for Yusuf. And one small thing in the expression, Ya baniya, oh my sons, oh my children. See, these children, they abducted their younger brother. Such a heinous crime. He knows that their children, his children, did something really evil to his son, Yusuf. He knows that. But how is he treating his children even though he knows their evils? He's treating them with kindness. He is referring to them, oh my children, with love. Sometimes you have to be patient with your children even though you know that they are not the perfect of children. You have to be patient with them. You have to treat them kindly and pray to Allah to fix them. and to make them righteous. Until then, there's no point, being harsh to them. You have to continue being kind. Yaqub alayhi salam says, وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا. Go and look for Yusuf and his brother. وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ. We are going to end with this statement. وَلَا تَيْأَسُوا مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ. Do not despair from the relief of Allah, from the rawh of Allah. What does rawh mean? Rawh means nafas. Nafas means breath. The relief of Allah is being referred to as breath. Why? Because sometimes the sufferings that we go through make us feel suffocated. It reaches to a point that we feel like this is the end. We feel suffocated. So Yaqub alayhi salam is saying that even when you are feeling suffocated, don't lose hope that Allah will give you breath. Allah will bring you relief. Because إِنَّهُ لَا يَيْأَسُ مِنْ رَوْحِ اللَّهِ إِلَّا الْقَوْمُ الْكَافِرُونَ. Because no one despairs from the relief of Allah except for those who disbelieve. Who does not believe in Allah, only they are the ones who lose hope in the relieving mercy of Allah. When you have belief in Allah, you cannot lose hope from His relief, no matter how impossible the situation seems to be. You don't see a way out. What you see is a very narrow opening. That's not enough for you to go out of this suffering. But you know that the one in control of our lives does not need the small opening or the bigger opening. Like Dr. Israr Ahmed says, Rasta nazar na aaye, tab Allah par yaqeen rakhna is Iman. When you don't see the road, when you don't see any way out, having faith in Allah at that time is Iman. If you see a way out and then you have faith in Allah, then you have yaqeen in Allah, that's not a test of real faith. A test of real faith is to believe that Allah will make a way when there is no way. Allah will bring means when there are no means. Allah is the Rabb of all the means. He can make means and He can make ways out of thin air. But those who disbelieve, they look at the material means only. They depend on the means that they see with their eyes. If they see proper means, their hearts are at rest. When they don't see proper means, their hearts are always at unrest. But a believer does not see the means only. If there is a means, that's fine. That's a form of solace from Allah or consolation from Allah and ease from Allah, that Allah is showing us the way out before it comes. Allah is showing that there are some possibilities. That's a good thing. That's a sign of ease. But a true sign of a believer is to have faith in Allah and to believe that Allah can bring relief when there is zero possibility. Because Allah is the Rabb of all asbab, all means. May Allah allow us to be among the ones who have tawakkul. Tawakkul is this: when you rely on Allah and not the means. Tawakkul means to take Allah as your wakil, to take Allah as the disposer of your affairs. If you see the means, that's not tawakkul on Allah. That's tawakkul on the means. So the true believers have tawakkul on Allah, and it is tested when you can't see anything in front of you. May Allah allow us to be among the ones who can have proper tawakkul on Him. May Allah allow us to be among the ones who take reminders and enact upon them. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Any